Welcome to Melanated Mastermind. We got a special guest today, the MFing Michael Bonner. How's it
I'm
going,
ready for
brother?
that. I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm over here just trying to be great like you. But this whole entire name of the show that you got, man, is fire. Like, shout out to you, bro. You always producing great content. Like, I love it.
Thank you, bro. That just came from we have Black people, you know what I'm saying, and we got kings and queens, and we need to put out their efforts and everything great about us, like to present Black excellence to the masses. So I just figured a way to give back was to put us on more, you know, and to reach out to guys like you and ladies who are doing the same thing, entrepreneurs who do business and represent themselves well for our communities. They need to be put in the spotlight because it's not seen. Nobody's putting it on Front Street. So let's do that.
Yeah, I'm with that. I'm right here with you.
For sure, bro. So more about you. Well, what haven't you done? You know what I'm saying? He's a brilliant teacher. He's America's Black teacher, you know, the man's man.
I wish.
I know, bro. I know.
I'm a teacher, man. I've developed into a businessman. Probably solidify myself as a businessman because I think in the Black community, we always been taught how to hustle. And we was talking about that, you know, this past Sunday. You know, that's something inside of our blood, you know, our DNA that Kendrick Lamar was rapping about. So definitely a teacher, but under that umbrella, man, I'm so many things. I have a friend that she says her therapist told her that she's not a one-way street. She's a highway, and she can switch between any lane that she desires to be. So I could be a teacher one day. I can be an educational consultant. I could be in the stock market one day. One day I may be I can be an author one day. Like, it's just so many lanes you can move in. But all this by the grace of God. So that's just who I am, bro. Out here just trying to have as much fun as possible.
Can you give me that quote again? That was fire. Because I try to explain my life, and I'm like, yo, all right, I do this, I do that, but this is not what I'm like. My main thing. This is my main thing. This is what I love to do, but I love to do a lot of things.
Right. It's her name is Nick Stone, and the quote is, "You're not a one-way street or one lane. You're a highway."
That's fire.
And when you look at the highway, you can maneuver and get off whenever you want to, right? So I think other times, especially in the school system, being a teacher, we think that, I'm just good at this one thing. Nah, some people have the ability and the charisma and the skill set to do multiple things. And we live in a society where they say you should just stay here. But when you think about it, any brilliant mind doesn't just stay there. They actually test how far they can go outside of that box.
Keep growing.
Exactly, bro.
Keep growing. And I really love that. That explains my life a lot. I know it explains yours because I know you for other things that everybody doesn't know you for, really, like basketball.
Yeah. Yeah.
You used to jump out the gym, you know, back in our Winston days.
Yeah, I got a little bit in there in case a dude try to pop off at the mouth and I'm going to play on one-on-one for his girl at homecoming. That's the type of interview I'm messing. Just in case, you feeling brave today? Bet, get your shoes.
Bang on you. Like, he's like that. Through the legs. It's ridiculous. Like, you ain't dunked on no kids?
Almost during the Christmas game. Before the Christmas game this past year, man, I haven't played ball in like 10 years. Like I think I just locked in with teaching and was just having so much fun with that. And then sort of how that fell out, like falling out with basketball allowed me to find my love for education. So honestly, man, I just been in my groove, just embracing just who I am. Turned 30 this year and just really understanding why they say 30 is the new 20. Because you're a little bit more mature. You understand how to maneuver through life. You're not trying to make any apologies for who you are. You're willing to grow and change. But most importantly, you're not trying to fit in with everybody. You just being who you are. So I'm loving this year so far.
Okay, well, let's speak on it. Like right now, you're nationwide nationally known for teaching. Like you spoke about your love for teaching. We're gonna keep it real organic. Like, what got you into teaching?
Man, actually, I thought I was gonna be an NBA player like most young Black men that comes from those marginalized areas. You know, I grew up, I remember playing, but I got my high school DVD in there where I'm dunking in the games and you see the drug dealers on the side going crazy because that was just the way out where I'm from. But I initially went to Winston-Salem and decided to major in psychology, but man, I just wasn't in love with it. I knew it would pay well. But as far as the me just, I'm excited, that wasn't it. So I switched to elementary education, just, man, thinking of, what can I do to get me some money straight out of college? And also, when we used to go and do the read alouds with the basketball team to the schools around the area, bro, when we will walk in, because I'm tall, you know, to a normal height. You know, Paul Davis and them and Jamal Durham, 6'7", 6'10". So I'm the shorter one. But when we will walk in, yo, the kids will look at us like Wakanda for real. Like, yo, who are these black dudes like that look like Avatar? They don't even look real. And man, that feeling is different, especially when they will sit and listen to you and they're in tune. And it's funny how you said how you built your show. There's this lady by the name of Miriam Wright Elderman who has this saying that you can't be what you can't see. Mm-hmm. So when I felt that connection with those kids, I'm like, bet I'll do that. And it just so happened, my third year teaching, I was ready to quit, done. I was teaching in one of those areas, one of those schools, brilliant students. It didn't have the proper structure. And that fourth year, man, God sprinkled a little bit of,
okay. Year four, that's the one that we're all aware of then, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A little bit about year four, transcending from year 3 to year 4. What did it? What sparked the superstardom or the hunger? What sparked the hunger?
Pain. If we're going to be 100 with you, pain. I got married at 22. I started a career young. Got out there early, man. I'm learning there's a lot of things that we can have good intentions with, but wrong time. So when that third year teaching, I had the craziest classroom dynamic, bro. Like the type of behaviors like throwing chairs, kids swinging on you in second grade. It was crazy. I just left my marriage. So I initiated the separation process. My mother was sick that year during my third year of teaching. Things were just chaotic. $1,800 a month from teaching, $33,000 for the year. Like my life, bro, was just like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to live like this, right? So Maya Angelou has this quote where she says, she no longer wants to survive, but she wants to thrive, and to do so with love, compassion, and humor. And when I saw that joint and that quote, it really like took root into my heart. And man, that entire year, because you were with Jack this weekend, you can ask him. I was taking pictures at people's weddings, bro, as I'm going through the process of getting divorced myself. So that third year, 2015, was just a year of, Mike, can you learn how to love yourself? Can you know how to be alone? What do you like to do? Are you willing to travel? I took my first trip out of the country with views to Jamaica. I just began to just do things for me, myself, which is completely contrary to social media, right? Like learning how to be an alpha male on my own. I don't really need anybody, but I embrace community. And how can I walk into my purpose? And that's what made that Ellen moment so crazy. So the timeline was May 2015, craziness, divorce, all that stuff. Going to my fourth year teaching. Fourth year teaching is August 2016. Ellen happens October 2016. Then the big moment is 2017. Ever since then, it's just been going up. So I've been just adjusting, bro. It's funny because that rough area like produced all of this like now. And I think off that time, it's process. People don't like to see that process.
Speak on Ellen and how you got there. Can you give us a little bit more of the dirt? Like who connected the dots, or did you just go out and send it out?
So this is what it happened by. I think it really had nothing to do with me, if I'm honest. I taught a lesson wrong to my students, and I like it was a horrible lesson, bro. It was with the essential questions: who, what, when, where, why, and how. Teaching kids how to read, and they could not understand that concept. So I tested them. And only 2 out of 20 kids passed. And I found myself blaming them, and it wasn't them. Like, I'm the teacher. I'm control of that content, what's going on in that environment. And that happens in education. That happens in relationships. That happens in families. People are willing to point to everybody else except for looking themselves in the mirror. Look myself in the mirror, and I say, you know what, kids, if y'all pass this test, I'll make you a music video. I'll shoot you a music video. If 14 out of 20 pass, I'll shoot you a music video. They did, bro. I shot on a Samsung S7, the same phone I used in Views, Jamaica, my first year, never forget. Posted on a Friday, went out with some coworkers for some drinks at a spot called Christie's, and within an hour on Facebook, bro, I had like 1,000 shares. Like it just came out of nowhere. I did it not for nobody. We know I was trying to go viral at that point in time, bro. I made my bet with my kids. I owed them, and it's just funny how something that small just became like this little snowball effect. And thank God, bro, that was 3 years ago, and I'm still swinging heavy and going strong. And I'm grateful for that.
The universe heard you straight. It heard your heart, it heard everything. And then just a shameless act, heartless. It was just a bunch of heart in it, a lot of love in it. You caring for those kids that much, just send it to the moon.
Yeah, man. And that's why, honestly, That's why I'm glad I had a conversation with you, because we got the same birthday. Like we know each other. So I wanted to make sure I was completely transparent here on your show outside of any other show, because I don't think people fully understand that in order for you to get to that area of like, I haven't made it, but you level up, sometimes you got to go through a rough season that you don't really want to go through. And that's why I referenced Jack earlier. Like Jack was there when no friends were around. Like my circle then is still my circle now. Because that's just how people, that's how people maneuver.
That you know, the people that you love, the people, like I see you and we just, F your birthday.
Right.
Right off the rip. We know each other like that.
Yeah.
It's like, I really know that's a good guy. You know what I'm saying? Y'all might just see this, but it's not even just that. It's deeper than that. And it's good to get it when you got some humble Black guys around who are cool and it's not a fake or a front. You can build. And I'm happy to deal with you. Like, thank you for coming on the show, bro.
Bro, it's my pleasure. And I think that's the beauty in it all of how can we collectively build together? How can people mature to the point of understanding, we're at this level now that if you ask me, we're the generation that actually have a chance to really tap into real money. Like I feel like my parents laid the groundwork. They fought through Jim Crow laws. They fought through, marginalizations at their job. They went back to college and hustled and bustled and 2 jobs. And now for me, I have to make sure that my family tree is better because I'm here. And I want people to let that sit with them. Will your family tree be better because you are alive? Or is your family going to be in the same spot they were when you were born? And I don't want that to happen for me.
Right. So we are in a good place, bro, to where we're in a good place to where more money can be seen than they ever seen in their generations. It went from the mills to just getting degrees and just working. Now it's like, okay, I got my degree and I'm working, or I don't have a degree and I'm working, and I'm an entrepreneur, or I'm doing both. Just like you said, we're a highway, so I'm letting all this energy flow through me on every street, creating streams.
Or even more, learning how to take that step from, we got degrees because we both do, and we making money, cool, but how can I make that money grow for me without working, right? Without even having to physically move. And that's the lane I've been studying. So when COVID happened, I bunkered down. That's why you see that anchor chart back there, bro. I was jotting notes. I got books all over, just trying to figure out how can I adapt and make sure that I'm constantly progressing and moving forward. Because the last thing I want to do is to have these blue checks and be known on social media, but in real life, I don't really got it.
Right.
I guy that's dressed real normal with joggers like we wear and really got it, then to look out here that he was on, and then don't have it. So that's just me.
Understood. So we tapped into like how we talked about it earlier, but now we can get into it, how we feel about having a product as an entrepreneur. This is the difference back then. COVID didn't happen for the generation before us, and people weren't forced, and they're not forced now, but it's another avenue to where you can have a product, be an entrepreneur, and put them out. And you have products. I told you that on Sunday. I was like, you have products. So how do you feel like that has helped you? And are you pushing those harder now? And what are those products?
Right. So the biggest thing, Trinity Manning, who's one of my mentors who lives in Winston, a phenomenal man. We had a conversation one day, and I had to come to the realization, for me in my field, I am the product. Right. And that's not in a cocky way. Like, we got to really think about it. I'm a teacher, but I take those lessons from the classroom and then I form them into a speech. And then that speech goes out to the teachers and turns into workshops and ideas I'm doing in my classroom. The ideas that I experience in the classroom, therefore I turn it into a product by writing a book. And then my personality, who I am, turns into partnerships with bigger companies and stuff like that. So the people need to understand that having assets, digital assets, especially in this time, is nothing but extra streams of income for you and yourself. Sometimes people don't have a financial problem. They're just not making enough money. And we all have brilliance. We all have a sign of intelligence in some area. Garner says that we have 7 to 8 different types of intelligences. You got to figure out how to tap into them and make that work for you. You are a people's person. People gravitate towards you. They love to talk to you. You're musically inclined. We're with Dot. Dot has his way of just bringing this energy into the room. You can use those gifts and turn it into some type of digital asset, and people will support you. You can't worry about if the people around you support you, right? Sometimes it's strangers that you don't even know that support you, right? I have strangers watching the YouTube videos before like some of my own family members, but you can't get focused on that. You got to focus on, can I have an idea and can I bring it into fruition? And that's one of the best feelings in the world. And I hope and pray people begin to experience that, because there's nothing like it.
I love that, bro.
Yeah.
That's true
Mm-hmm.
because, and I like what you said about being the product too. Even
Mm-hmm.
before you put anything out physically,
Mm-hmm.
if you're the product, you repackage yourself, you rebranded yourself, you recreated, all in positive value.
Yeah.
So that became $1 million token, everything that
Mm-hmm.
everybody's trying to get to. So it's
Mm-hmm.
good that you put yourself on display, on the shelf to the
Mm-hmm.
world the way that you are of monetary value. And when I say on the shelf, what you
Mm-hmm.
present yourself as a
Mm-hmm.
package, newly packaged product to the
Mm-hmm.
universe, to the
Yeah.
people to buy into.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
good.
I think we all can do it. Like I have books, I have speeches, I have, merchandise and all those things, but all those are just extensions of who I am, right?
Right.
And for me, I know people really connect with me and the person I am, but more importantly, Michael Bonner's brand, because they just see, yo, that dude's a good dude. Like I'm not tolerating any disrespect, but I'm definitely out here trying to make a change. And there's a lot of people out here that's trying to do that. So that's why I implore people, man, it doesn't matter which digital asset you have. You can have a blog on social media. You can be dropping a track a week like Toby was doing for a minute and then he popping, right? As
Yep.
long as you're using your God-given gift and who you are to create something, to give something back to the world, I think then you're living in your purpose.
I love it, bro. Now you did tap on marriage earlier.
Yeah, let's get into it. Let's get into it.
You were there, you were young, you know what I'm saying? I witnessed it. You know,
Yeah,
do you have a therapist now?
yeah. Trinity, a couple of mentors. Um, I wouldn't say they convinced me, but they definitely helped me open up my mind to the beauty of having a therapist. I have a dentist, like I have a person I go to a doctor with, but mental health is real. And people oftentimes judge individuals but don't understand their experiences. For me, bro, I grew up with two parents who've been married for 39 years. All I've seen is a dope partnership. So if you know nurture versus nature, when a child sees something, more than likely they're going to adapt to that. In my mind, I'm thinking a marriage is a normal thing, right? So that's why I was inclined to do it. And that's why I alluded to it was probably good intentions, but terrible timing. I was young, right? So, um, and the great thing about that is that I own that because in that loss and in that I wouldn't even call it a failure, in that lesson, bro, it forced me to really look at myself. And some people can't do that. That's why COVID, unfortunately, outside of the physiological things that were happening with people's bodies, for some of us that was in the house and then you have to be at home with your partner when you normally at work, or you have to look yourself in the mirror and the things and the habits you're doing, and when you normally don't have to, it'll put you in a position. So that divorce forced me to look at, yo, who are you? How do you operate? And what do you want to be? Where do you see yourself going? And I always knew I'll be a wealthy individual. I always knew I'll be a person that's trying to make change. I always knew I'll be big on family, big on great vibes. I wouldn't even say I needed it, but life allowed me to just take that quick hit and shake it off, spit the blood out, and get back up and keep rolling.
Definitely, bro. I know life just told you, like, hey, this is what, because I come from the same background.
Mm-hmm.
My parents been married, so all we seen was love. We know
Yeah.
what it is growing up in that household, and then somebody else may see it totally different, and
Mm-hmm.
it just come together and it's like, yo, we're forcing it, this is
Yeah.
what I'm accustomed to, you're not, and
Mm-hmm.
inside of me, I want to do something else. And it's just like,
Mm-hmm.
the world wants me to do something else.
It's
So
real.
you got to listen to those vibes that the body tell you. I thank you for
Mm-hmm.
that.
Yeah, man, you gotta know yourself. I think a lot of times, even with dudes, man, dudes are scared to you. I firmly believe now, especially now that I'm sort of taking my foot off the pedal. Like I've put in enough work in my field that I wouldn't say I made a name for myself, but that okay, we know who Michael Bonner is. We know that he can bring it, right? So I'm sort of letting my foot off the pedal. But I'm glad I went through that in these past 3 years because I think in order for a dude to properly date a woman, bro, he's gonna have to really know who he is. Because if he don't know who he is, he want to accept anything. So for me, I know sometimes I'm talking to you. We supposed to do this yesterday, Tuesday. You sort of come back to Winston, but I know I'm going to be in Winston, knocking out, teaching all day. I got to hop on a flight, get here this morning, do a speech. Like if I didn't know myself, I'll be bringing a woman into that chaos, and I could probably choose wrong because she's not used to everything that's going on with me now in this season. So that's why I'm glad I went through that because I think anybody, a dude or a woman or non-binary, it's important to know yourself.
That's a problem that everybody witnesses, especially in the Black community. We wasn't taught to go to therapy. We wasn't taught growing up like, hey, you need to know what you like, what you love.
Mm-hmm.
You need to know about yourself. And especially we seeing it big time. We probably don't even know the numbers. We know the numbers of COVID deaths, but we don't know the numbers of COVID depression. Like a lot of people can't sit with themselves and learn them. They don't learn themselves without COVID, you know, being in quarantine. Some people were ready to run outside. I got a friend who told me, like, yo, the gym opened up. I went to the gym just to go work out in the corner by myself so I could see other people and be around it. And I'm like, okay, you was really getting sick, bro. You know, for me,
man.
I can do that. I'm kind of an introvert. You know, I'll make my music or write or, you know, read a book. And it worked for me. I got a lot of things going. So it flows. I can create. I'm like, okay, the world shut down. I'm not.
Right. That's a fact, bro. Like you got to be able to read and catch those signs because normally when the world shuts down like that, like the last time it was really like this was like the Great Recession, '08 when Jeezy album came out. When moments like this happen, there are huge moments of transferring of wealth. A lot of money went through people's hands and people got rich, you know, during COVID-19, not doing anything wrong, just the way the stock market and stuff works. A lot of people opened up new businesses. A lot of people went on different ventures. People were forced to put themselves in a creative mode. So I'm glad and I hope that, and that's not even to say that you had to be productive during the pandemic because we are going through a pandemic. There were some days where I did not want to get out of bed. There were some days I sat on this couch and Netflix with a little bit of wine and tequila. But I do think, like you were saying to your point, it's important for people to at least attempt to look at yourself and figure out how to adapt in this moment.
Okay. Well, let's get into more of your professional. See, I can talk to you all day. We really so, you know, we can do it. But how do you feel about teachers not being paid enough? How much do you think a teacher should make in 2020? And is it being proven now that you guys are much more needed than the world shows?
Heck yeah. People don't know how hard teaching is, bro. Like it's teaching. I try to challenge people. If you think teaching being that easy, go substitute for a week and without having the teacher there, right? And barely have them leave, you know, the substitute plan and stuff behind. Teachers definitely should get paid more. We need to figure that out. But this is the way the society works and capitalism works, is that this society in this particular country and world is built off of a free economy, business owners, right? So in order to have a capitalistic economy, you got to capitalize upon somebody who, workers, people who don't understand the tax breaks. Like when Trump had to pay only $750 in 2016, 2017, I wasn't mad because I know he was depreciating stuff. Like I understood that lingo and language. So what I've been pushing educators to do is, you know, you need to extend yourself and use the gifts and talents you have and go open up an LLC or an S Corp. You may not even want to have a business that's related to education, but at least thinking about saving up a couple, work during the summer times like I did, get an extra job, save up some money for a down payment, and then go buy a rental property, right? Like we got to sort of shake out of that mold because if the government was going to pay us more, bro, they would have done it already. If they want to forgive student loans, they would have done it already. If they were supposed to give Black people reparations, they would have done it already. They're doing exactly what they want to do. We saw that with the debate last night. And even more proof of it, the federal economy or the federal government put in $3 trillion, bro, at the beginning of COVID. And we were talking about closing these gaps in these marginalized neighborhoods and these school systems and these food deserts and increased pay for different individuals. We don't have it. It's how we're going to afford that? Taxes. But as soon as COVID happened, they're gonna pump $3 trillion digitally into the stock market to make sure the market don't crash.
Yeah, like money is not real, bro. Like
it's not even real. It's not real.
You don't have it for us to teach. You don't have it for us to have more money. It should be teachers who should be millionaires. You know, I want to you guys because really, like a teacher, you know, they can definitely, especially we're gonna get into that too. A teacher like yourself, I'm sure you're a lot of African American kids' first therapist.
Yeah.
Like, how important is it as a Black teacher to the culture?
It's important because you get to help them process, you know, and the same mess that goes on in society, you know, Black people are brutalized experience police brutality more than their other counterparts. You know, mass incarceration, Black people, we dominate, specifically Black men dominate the prison system. The same crap, bro, happens inside of the school system. Black students are suspended the most. Black students are mostly referred to special education the most. Like Black students are more likely to be suspended for a subjective thing such as disrespect. What is disrespect, right? So the issue is, and the thing is, as a teacher of color, it gives me the ability to help them process and gives me a chance to actually build and help them understand like what's really going on in the world. So when we see things going on in society, like the debate and stuff last night, I can break it down like this side believes this side believes this. What do you believe? Build your own thoughts. What do you think about this person? Don't worry about social media because sometimes they can program you. And that's the beauty in being a teacher of color, especially for my young men, because they think just because you in the streets or just you're a rapper that you getting money or an NBA player getting money. And I know people who are getting way more money than their favorite rappers and NBA players by just being themselves and operating in who they are.
Yeah, bro. Like rappers don't really make that much money. You got to like it still goes back to digital, and it's funny, you know, no pun, but digital assets, streaming.
Yeah.
But it's deeper than that. You got to have products outside of your music. Everybody, we live in a product culture. You know what I'm saying? You got to make, let's just call it quote unquote a drug. Make a positive drug that sells itself. You know, and you are that spark for it.
And even two more things that even in connection to the rapper thing, just to be clear, so everybody listening to this, number one, first off, your rappers out here getting advances, fam. That's nothing but a big loan. They gotta recoup that. Recoup means they gotta pay that back through their concerts and stuff. And more importantly, if you're a rapper holding up money inside of the social media and stuff, you might want to question their financial literacy anyway, because everybody know cash sitting under your bed or sitting in your closet isn't growing. Even if it's in the bank, it's only growing at a 0.1% rate for the entire year. Like once you start, you start learning more information, you start looking at stuff different. It's a reason why Jay and others are just not holding money. Vince Staples, J. Cole, like it's a completely different world. And I want people to start working on self-development so they can see what's really going on so they can be effective. So teachers should get paid more, but they may have to tap into it. They should be millionaires. I'm going to be a millionaire, but I'm doing it in the avenue of how I'm operating through my gift and using the knowledge I've gained through the stock market and digital assets and people skills and social networking. That's what I'm working on.
Okay. I'm sure you have like a mastermind team of your own of teachers, a conglomerate. Do you guys, have you spoke on homeschool, and where do you see that that's going in the future?
Yeah, so I talked to some teachers, honestly, because of COVID-19 and the school system doesn't pay as well. They have something called learning pods, where some teachers were smart enough. I'm gonna get my business, get incorporated, bet, and I'm gonna tell these parents, I'll take 5 to 10 of your kids, $100 a week, $200 a week, and I'll teach them virtually. I'm certified. I have my standards. I know all the technology and stuff already. I'm a certified teacher. Teachers end up making more money, bro, than what they were doing inside the classroom. So there are some teachers taking advantage of that, right? Some teachers are fearful of doing that. Some don't have the skill set to do it or probably don't understand how to make that work. But once again, that's what happens in moments like this. People adapt. In '08, when the Great Recession happened, the market crashed. But in '08, Uber, Tesla, Airbnb, Instagram were all created at that point in time. They're billion-dollar companies now. Right now, what are you going to create? What are you going to build that 10 years from now, you want to be in a good place? The stock market has rose 495% since 2008. So it's, that's what happens when these tough moments happen. People get creative and figure out how to adapt. So I do know some teachers who are thinking creatively, and that's a good thing. It's a good thing.
Okay. So how long do you see yourself teaching? Like, is this going to be a lifelong thing? Are you going to create your own learning pod? Are you going to after you get 1 million, after you get 2 million, because I know you're gonna get 1 million and then it's gonna
yeah.
It's just greatness, bro. I already know.
Yeah.
You're not just gonna sit at one.
Honestly, bro, when you start making enough money doesn't even make you happy anymore. Like once you start seeing those comments and stuff coming over and over again, there's an article that I can send to you that shows that at a certain level of money, you don't even it doesn't move you anymore because your financial needs are met. Right? You're not thinking about the gas and how the bills get paid. You put yourself in the position to get paid. For me, I truly love the classroom. That's why I love teaching here at, the Ron Clark Academy in Atlanta. I get to rock and roll. I can go in and be who I am. I can teach them about the book, tie in the stock market. I can teach them about, a standard in history with the American Revolutionary War, and then talk about psychological trauma, of people of color at that point in time and how they were trying to negotiate their freedom to get them to fight in the war for them. It's so much freedom with that. So I see myself being a teacher for as long as I can live. But in regards to business, I just see myself expanding, scaling, coming up with greater content, teaching virtually, bro, and doing, I did a speech virtually this morning. Doing it virtually is like Hall of Fame. It's almost like a rapper having to perform a concert virtually. You got to be talking, have a beat or something going for people to stay there and engage. So I'm using this moment to adapt, build better speeches, work with companies, partner with them to figure out how can I bring leverage to education into their brand, and just keep adapting. So I'm not really concerned about the money, because I learned when you actually chase and do what you love and you're good at it, that money gonna follow you, bro. Like, I have money following me now because I've done some things and I'm waiting to get paid for it, but I was doing things I love. So those checks are just coming right behind me. And if you keep getting better, right, you keep getting
behind doing something that you love, instead of
exactly.
that's the problem with a lot of people. So that's why a lot of 9-to-5ers are not millionaires. They're going to work, they're just doing that job. But somebody who has that juice, like you, it's like, okay, I'm gonna go do my job, even when you in the 9-to-5 hustle, but I'm gonna do more than just that, because it's not just a job to me. Or if you love it that much, then you're gonna turn it into something else in your spare time too.
That's why I respect you. I respect any person that just straight out being an entrepreneur, because it's not easy. You don't know when that check coming in. You don't know when an opportunity gonna come up. So for me, I operated a little bit different. I was teaching, but I started off doing photography. I taught myself how to take pictures with YouTube and stuff. And then I started letting that money supplement my bank account and emergency fund. And I made myself live only on a teacher's salary. So that's a financial principle of me. I'm always gonna live below my means. I'm gonna shop at Target. I'm gonna come to homecoming with a hoodie on and some $20 shoes from H&M. I'm gonna be in my element, but I know that I've lived below my means. I'm being strategic with everything that I'm doing, so I can continue to boss up in my business and it can continually scale. I don't have this large overhead because I'm out here trying to impress everybody on social media.
See, that's one thing that I love about entrepreneurship, because you can take somebody from the hood. Like, I love my brothers from the hood who really found themselves and moved up and don't have degrees, because you hit a key point, and I love saying this. Everybody can enroll in YouTube University. And it's so many people on YouTube, there's so many people on the internet getting money with products that didn't go to school, and just like I know a bunch of white guys who just graduated high school and was like, yeah, I'm over here, my family got a car shop. I'm like, yo, they got a lot of money. Or they went to a community college, didn't go to the 4-year. I'm like, dang, we kind of got bamboozled.
Yeah.
Make sure you're going to school doing something that's going to get you what you want out of life, or something that you're really interested in.
That's real.
You're trapped.
Yeah, that's real. And that's, if you ask me, that's why I work so hard inside of education, because I know, man, if somebody would have told my cousins and people who are selling weed and selling crack for that little bit of money, there was a lot in that area, obviously, more than $7.75 an hour for minimum wage. But if somebody would talk to them about the stock market or talk to them about entrepreneurship, it would be crazy. That's why I am in YouTube University. I watch Earn Your Leisure. I watch Ian Dunlap Market Mondays, the Come Up series of Mark Monroe. I watch so many personal finance with Jeremy. I'll be everywhere every night. I'll record a basketball game and watch the shows on YouTube, and then go watch the other shows later for leisure. Wall Street Trapper, who went to prison and was teaching his homeboys, yo, you can if you catch a bid, you put your money in the stock market, and by the time you get out, your money is legally grown for you. Like, that type of ingenious thinking, right? So you're right, bro. Everybody has that creativity. Everybody has that beauty inside of them. But what I'm learning is, because we have so much information around us, a lot of people have analysis paralysis. They're thinking through everything so much they don't even execute, at all. Then I told myself, I don't want to be that.
Majority of people don't execute, man. They stuck. How many people, you can just imagine, like, you around your friends or somebody, like, hey, I wonder how he did that. And I don't use this word much, but I hate when somebody asks that, because I know, like, fighting through what I've been through, I'm like, that answer is out there. You can find anything out you want to find out, what anybody else did. You could essentially learn to be Einstein if you wanted to. Like, how did he do it? I have a book in the living room right now about Einstein's life. You can go through and figure out step by step how he became a genius. And he wasn't a genius when he was young. He actually was diagnosed with something else, he was least learned. He wasn't that smart. He taught himself how to do those things and then cracked the system of the brain to become a genius. And that's just like everything else in life.
Right.
I got powerful, a question for you too.
What's up?
So have you ever had to be like Superman, like being a black man, like, I know you're Superman in real life, but outside of that, in the classroom, have you ever had like black kids come to you like, Mr. Bonner, this happened to me in my class, and the black teacher, like, talk about, you don't have to go into some of those situations.
So that's why some black men actually run from the education system. It's called the invisible tax. And they name it that because as a black man, when you get into the education field, there's only 2% of us. So that, number one, they're going to try to put you in a school that needs you. And then they're going to load you up with kids because they feel like they need a father figure, right? So there is some type of taxation that happens in regards to working in the field, just being a black man. Being a teacher, bro, God, I pray for teachers all the time. And I've seen times when my kids come in crying from hunger. I've never seen somebody cry because they're hungry. I've seen that. I've seen a child cry because her dad punched her mom in the face and they heard him fighting last night. Like, I've seen those things. And it's not always a good feeling because we know trauma can experience and help that child. We talk about that, shout out to Black Fly on the Wall. Trauma can influence a person to act and respond in a certain way as they get older. So after experiencing those things, I just try to make sure I give them the help that they need, and make sure I can put my resources to the fire to make sure they got the help and resources that they need, man. Because it can be pretty crazy. Kids deal with
a lot of so stuff, much. Man. My brother, he's a teacher. He talks about you. He was like, Michael Bonner. I was like, that's my friend. Like,
cool. Like, that's my bro.
That's my friend. But he tells me a lot of stories like what you just said. Being a black teacher, y'all being 2% is crazy. And I see that in a lot because I had a teacher when I was in high school, Mr. Smith. And he was the only black teacher we had, and he was kind of young. So it was like, man, I'm going to just go holler at him. And he gave me a lot of tips in life, Thank God, I had a father in my life. But, at school it's different because you always have white teachers everywhere. But when you got somebody you can relate to, it's like, man,
right.
And he's actually cool too. I mean, he ain't have to be cool, but to me,
right.
But it's good.
You're so right, bro. Like I remember mine was Mr. Gary Stubbins. Mr. Stubbins actually played for Elizabeth City State University. And I think Mr. Stubbins averaged like 30-some points a game. And he actually played against Earl of Pearl Monroe. Like, he showed me the score and everything. But Mr. Stubbins, bro, cool, clean-cut guy. And every time we saw Mr. Stubbins, he had bread. He wasn't a coach. He worked inside the school as an administrator, but he had money. He would pull the money out. And I know what he was doing now. He was letting us see that representation of that man isn't doing anything illegal. He's out here doing well for himself. So there's a couple of men in the education system and women. God have mercy, shout out to the black women and teachers of color and other teachers that I've experienced in life. But it ain't no doubt teachers of color definitely have a different experience in life in general. It can be traumatic at times.
Have you ever met what's the lady's name? The other teacher, she's the female version of you. But they kicked her out of the system because she looked too good. Her clothes were too fitting.
You talking about Teacher Bay? There's a couple of them, but there's one here in Atlanta too.
I think that's her.
Yeah, the original Teacher Bay is here in Atlanta. Then you have others that have like a Teacher Bay name. Right. But I know you're talking about. She has this cold body, and she, will wear a dress or something, or a pantsuit and suit pants, and because of her shape, it is what it is. But I feel like she wasn't being provocative with it, bro. She can wear like whatever she wanting to wear. Like for me,
beautiful body, right?
Yeah, you just got a beautiful body. Like, sometimes it's just the reality. That's the reality of it. Like, I would have coached her, hit up these companies, see if you model some of their products and different clothes and stuff that you're interested in. You want to get into some commercials. Like, my mom be thinking that way. How can I use what God has given me, right? When I first went to Ellen, my mother texted me and was like, yo, I'm so glad that we bought you braces, son, because you up there on that national TV, and I knew one day you'll be something special. Sometimes you got to use what worked for you, man. I have a nice smile. Yeah. Thank God they pay for it, so use it.
Use it. Yeah, you got height, smile, like. Oh, how was the so I was influenced when you did the whole rap song. I'm like, yo, he on there with some of my favorites. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He was on there with Big Sean. So who wrote the song? Yeah. How did that come together?
So that was the original song that me and the students wrote, and then they added a second verse to it. Ellen flew the kids out. That was her decision. And this is the crazy thing. It's just how life works, because the little homemade video I did went viral and got me up there. The video that Ellen them did with Big Sean, Ice Cube, Migos, Lin-Manuel Miranda, Ellen herself on a Hollywood set, it didn't catch as much traction as the other video, right? But it was so cool. I got videos of them, meeting Big Sean, man, a really humble guy. I love his album I Decided in Detroit too. Like, I remember us, riding the scooters and stuff, and him singing out loud. Last night took a L, but tonight I bounced back. I forgot the name of the song or something.
That's how I go.
Yeah, I want to make sure I have the lyrics right. But I was like, yo, this is surreal. Like, I really like his music. He over here singing it out loud, riding down the street. So it was cool, man. But it just taught me and showed me that everybody starts somewhere. For him, he rapped for Kanye, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, Drake started out with
When it's your time, it's your time.
The time is your time. And I don't feel like I hit my time. That's the beautiful thing.
Same way. It's coming. I think everybody feels that way, even when you have arrived. Like you even told me, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, bro, you have arrived. Other people, not in everybody's eyes yet.
That's how it works, bro. Like your content is great. You're lyrical. You know what you're talking about. You love what you do. And it's just crazy because you are there. It's just gonna be this moment that just pops, right? So I'm grateful for the followers and the stuff that I've accomplished, but I know there's a whole nother level of Michael Bonner that like I can tap into because I know my weaknesses, right? And that's why I was like, I know I haven't arrived yet, and I can't wait for your joint to pop. God, I remember you dropping them videos, stuff, music and stuff. I'm out here bobbing, so got his theme going, and I just can't wait. And I'm gonna laugh at you because you're gonna be shocked how many people come back after you pop. And you got some good stuff going on. So I'm gonna be laughing at your reaction. I can't wait for that.
I can't wait to see it, bro. That's gonna be good. I'm still working. I'm about to drop a bomb right now. But for sure.
I'm with that. Let me know so I can play it.
I'll send it to you off air.
Yeah, let me know.
But yo, thank you, brother, for getting on the show. We're gonna cap it here.
Yeah.
You got anything else you want to say? I think I got everything in that people don't know, not all the generic stuff they get.
Yeah, social media. Man, I just want to tell people, one, wherever you're at in life right now, whether you're up or down, just make sure you're taking care of yourself mentally and emotionally. Two, make sure that you understand whoever you're entertaining, whoever you're in a relationship with, whoever your friends are, that's a physical representation of what you believe you're worth. So to my bros out there, if you at the club every week and your boys fighting all the time, you're telling me you're worth drama and getting into more trouble. If I come kick it with you and I see that your boys having some unique conversation about bossing up, I know where you're going, right? I just want people to take care of themselves mentally and put themselves in positions and places, man, that their family generation will be better when they leave here. And to you, bro, God bless you, man. I hope and pray that you continue to be doing the great things that you're doing. You continue to boss up. You've always been a solid guy. And you already have arrived in my eyes, but I can't wait till this joint pop because I am going to go bananas. Like, I can't wait. So keep being you, bro.
That's what you got to love. People that love you, people that are happy for you when you succeed. That's the kind of circle you want. And I know that's what you got around you, bro. But thank you for your time. Thank you for all the blessings.
Yeah, man, of course. I need one of them shirts, too. When you get that merch and stuff going, let me know so I can buy it.
I'm going to mail it to you, bro. Shoot me your address and your size, and I got you.
And shoot me the Cash App so I can send it. People, because we need to support each other, all right? You got to do that.
All right, bro.
All right, bro. Appreciate you.
All right.